You can buy an electric hatch, you can buy an electric sedan, you can even buy an electric SUV. But did you know you can also now buy an electric van? Naturally, something like this Peugeot e-Partner isn't going to appeal to couples or families, especially because it only offers a driving range of about 260 kilometers. But Peugeot is quick to point out that that is enough for the last mile delivery services that this car will be used for. So come along with me, let's plan out a delivery route, don the high visi, and play Postman Pat for the day to see if this van has the legs to cut it as a last mile delivery service vehicle. Look, you might already be thinking that a 260 kilometer driving range isn't going to be enough for this type of vehicle, especially because petrol or diesel powered counterparts can get 800 kilometers of range, and spoiler alert, it isn't. But you've got to work with what you've got. And I've got my snacks, my sunscreen, and my CDs, and I'm going to fill you in on everything you need to know about the Peugeot e-Partner.
Peugeot Australia is asking $59,990 before on-road costs for this e-Partner, which makes it substantially more expensive than the petrol version that kicks off at $32,990. However, comparing apples to apples, it sits $19,000 above the equivalent petrol-powered Peugeot Partner Pro long wheelbase, or a nearly 50% price premium. Of course, electric cars are still finding their footing on the market, with the likes of the MG4 and BYD Atto 3 offering more of a driving range for less. A $60,000 asking price for a work van can be a tough sell. If you're desperate for an all-electric light commercial vehicle though, the e-Partner is the most affordable choice, undercutting the Renault Kangoo E-Tech and the larger Mercedes-Benz E-Vito and Ford E-Transit, the latter two of which sit either side of $100,000.
And it's not like Peugeot can justify that higher price tag with a dazzling list of equipment either.
With a cloth interior, keyless entry, and an 8-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and digital radio. That's about all the things of note in here. I'd have loved to see some more upmarket touches like a wireless smartphone charger, a USB-C outlet, and push-button start that would make that high price tag a little easier to swallow.
But as it stands, it's pretty clear that you're paying a pretty hefty premium for that cutting-edge powertrain. But you don't buy a van like this for the mod cons. You get a workhorse because you need it to fit everything that you need it to haul. And it's here where the e-Partner starts to really come into its own.
Available solely in long wheelbase form, the e-Partner's rear can swallow a sizable 3.9 cubic meter load, which, to be honest, is probably more space than this driving range can keep up with. And with it measuring 4.75 meters long, and with a 200 centimeter load floor, 120 centimeter height, and 130 centimeter width, it means even tall, awkward items like IKEA flat-pack furniture and bulky items from Bunnings will fit in without much fuss.
Also helping with loading and unloading are rear barn doors that can open to a full 180 degrees. And along the sides, you'll see 2 sliding doors. Crucially though, there's only a 750 kilogram payload, which I'll be planning to test in full effect a bit later on. Oi, delivery guy! Is that my package? On to the next package then. So let's cut to some lovely voiceover and I'll run you through the styling, or lack thereof.
From the outside, the e-Partner looks identical to the petrol-powered version. But what is a little unsightly is the blacked out front bumper, side mirrors, door handles, and side body cladding, making this premium priced van look decidedly low rent. Look, it's even got 16-inch steel wheels. Again though, buyers of the e-Partner aren't exactly shopping for looks. And as a mid-size van, the Peugeot has enough going for it to push it out of the ugly territory. Just. I particularly like the front end treatment with a wide grille and great looking headlights that tie into Peugeot's claw-like design motif as seen on passenger models like the 2008 and next generation 3008. Again, a few more premium touches like alloy wheels and a body coloured front bumper would go a long way to justifying the asking price.
And stepping inside, the interior of the e-Partner is pretty sparse, much like the exterior. Look, it gets the job done as far as vans go, but there's nothing in here that really wows. I will call out these cloth seats though, which are surprisingly supple and supportive, And it means that you will happily drive the hundreds of kilometers that the battery will allow without feeling tired and fatigued. The e-Partner is also equipped with Peugeot's signature small wheel with a flat top and a flat bottom. And what that means is that the instrumentation is positioned above the wheel, and this affords really good driver ergonomics. And what I love about vans the most, and the e-Partner does this here too, is the ample amounts of storage. You've got cup holders here, over there, you can slot your paperwork, your clipboard in up here, your phone can go in here, your wallet goes in here, you've got a slot between the seats for your bag, there's a 2-tiered glove box, you've got a storage cubby in your door pocket as well. There's just room for everything. Do take note though, this Peugeot still suffers that French car failing of having cup holders that are too small. You won't be able to get a full-size bottle in here, but it will fit a small coffee or a Red Bull. Okay, we're at destination number 2 now, and so far the e-Partner hasn't impressed in terms of pricing, specs, or interior. So, after I deliver this package, let's see how well it does on the road. Obviously, the biggest difference between driving this e-Partner and a traditional petrol or diesel powered van is its drivetrain.
There's an electric motor driving the front wheels that delivers 100 kilowatts and 260 newton meters, which isn't all that far off the 96 kilowatts and 230 newton meters offered in the 1.2 litre 3-cylinder turbo petrol sibling.
Do take note though, that because this is an electric car, it delivers all that torque instantaneously, which means this e-Partner feels a lot more snappy, quick and peppy off the line than a lot more of its petrol and diesel powered rivals. Visibility is also pretty poor. I mean, that rear view mirror is useless because there's no window out the back. However, the side view mirrors are pretty big and do give you a good indication of where you're sitting in traffic. And I will also have to point out that the reversing camera is excellent, offering a wide and clear angle view of what's going on behind you. In terms of handling, well, this van's actually pretty good. It soaks up a lot of the road imperfections and bumps and humps like you'd expect, even with a full load in the back. And it's a surprisingly comfortable driving experience, especially if you have to be in here for hours at a time. So fleet operators who might be a little bit more familiar or comfortable in something like a Toyota Hiace or a Renault Kangoo, they're gonna feel right at home here. But after a whole morning crisscrossing Melbourne delivering packages, the battery, much like my stomach, is getting pretty close to empty. So why is driving range so limited on the e-Partner? Well, Peugeot has fitted this car with a tiny 50 kilowatt hour battery. And I understand why they've done it, because a bigger battery would add weight and take up crucial space that is so important in a van like this. Of course, some fleet operators can make it work. Can you imagine a scenario where a driver would pick up a car fully loaded, do a morning run, deliver all their packages and come back to home base for a recharge or to swap out for another car? It could work, but it does mean drivers need a re-education. To be fair, Peugeot have positioned this van as a last mile delivery vehicle, but I think if EVs are really to take over, they need to match the capabilities of a petrol or diesel powered model. Easing concerns, however, is the e-Partner's fast charging capabilities. So if you can find a charger that'll do 100 kilowatts, this thing will juice up from 0 to 80% in just 30 minutes. Barely enough time for lunch.
But using a more common single-phase 7.4 kilowatt outlet, the e-Partner needs about 7.5 hours for a full charge. While if you only have access to a domestic 2.3 kilowatt plug, that downtime is nearly 24 hours.
And when operating a fleet, everyone knows that downtime is dead time. So we know the e-Partner will travel about half a day on a full charge, but how does it fare with a full load in the back? We've loaded the back with a 325 kilogram weight, plus my 80 kilogram frame, plus probably a few more kilograms after lunch, as well as my videographer TJ, all the camera gear, and the rest of the packages that we have to deliver. So this thing is pretty close to its payload capacity of 750 kilos. How does it drive any differently? It doesn't. I mean, the electric drive still offers instantaneous torque off the line. Sure, you feel a little bit of extra weight on the rear axle, but all in all, it's still a pretty pleasant experience. Do take note though, if you're going to load this thing up to capacity, it is going to take a pretty substantial hit to the driving range. And of course, if you're going to turn on the AC, you're going to lose a couple more kilometers as well. Drivers will also be comforted by the fact that there's autonomous emergency braking, lane keep assist, traffic sign recognition, and a reversing camera with rear parking sensors. But the Peugeot e-Partner does miss out on some crucial safety features that would be really handy in a van like this, like adaptive cruise control and blind spot monitoring.
Buyers are covered by a 5-year, 200,000 kilometre warranty with roadside assist over that period. The battery, however, comes with an industry standard 8-year, 160,000 kilometre warranty. Service intervals are every 12 months or 25,000 kilometres, whichever occurs first, with the first 5 services totaling $1,730, making the same 5-year period about $816 cheaper to service compared to the equivalent petrol-powered model. However, services in the Partner Pro long wheelbase are every 15,000 kilometres, so if you're travelling long distances in a year, the electric version will get you further.
So, after a hard day's work, how does the e-Partner stack up? Well, it didn't get me to the end of my working day, but that doesn't mean it can't work for you. I intentionally planned a wide and sprawling route just to test the legs off this thing, but if you were to own one of these, you would surely plan out a more optimal delivery strategy. It offers a comfortable and almost familiar driving experience to those used to driving a van. It just does so silently and with better torque delivery. And as owners of all EVs know, you've got to always keep an eye on that driving range.
Especially in this car, given that the calculated range without a load is about 246 kilometers, while the theoretical range with a load drops down to just 166 kilometers.
I just wish there were more fast charging stations to better take advantage of the e-Partner's capabilities. But then again, that's not Peugeot's fault, is it? If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and to check out the full written review, head to Drive.com.au.